So I promised you I would show you my scent stash from Grasse. This is one of them. It is an antique Guerlain box. There's hinges are really completely deteriorating inside. Without breaking the one working hinge, you can just see perfume stains and some pink stain. I don't know what that is. I hope it's not blood. But if you look at the typeface of the box, you'll be able to see that if you look at more recent Guerlain boxes, the typeface will be completely different. I mean, it looks really gothic as well, isn't it? It's a really beautiful box. They're highly collectible. And this one cost me around €40 at the Perfume Bottle Expo in Grasse. So let's have a look at some other stuff that I got at the Expo. Actually, I'm going to show you. So this is Dior, the original fragrance, according to an expert, an independent expert that was actually at the expo and they dropped it on the floor. It's the original fragrance from 1947 of Miss Dior, and the bottle is actually Baccarat as well, that you can see with this little star on the bottom. Now, some people will debate whether it is Baccarat, but this is normally a sign that the fragrance is Baccarat. But they started stamping their bottles with the name Baccarat after 1936. I've not had time to examine it yet, so whether it is or whether it isn't, I'm not sure. But it's absolutely gorgeous anyway, isn't it? And it's got this pump. Can you see that gorgeous, really old vintage pump? And these deteriorate with age as well. A lot of them just like fall off. They go quite flaccid and they go quite flaccid and often just like fall apart or fall off completely. So I'm not going to keep touching it, but yes, that's it. Let's go and find something else from my scent stash from Grasse. Oh, but this though, Guerlain, yes. It's a Guerlain. What is it? It's soap. And it's sealed. It's like never been opened, and oh my goodness, it's really strong, really, really beautiful. How much this was? €4. The Guerlain box was 40. Let's go and find something else. No. Another Guerlain bottle? No. Could it be? This is Chamade, and it's a beautiful fragrance. It's a beautiful bottle. It's so tiny. It was €3, which for a Guerlain perfume is a steal. For a miniature that has fragrance in it. It's in this beautiful glass flacon, but it's in the box. It's been leaking, obviously, but to get it in a box and a little miniature is actually really quite rare. And for €3, that's unheard of. What could this be? It's another Guerlain thing. It's Shalimar. It's the cologne of the Shalimar, so one of the weakest of the perfumes, the weakest in strength. In terms of ratios of fragrance to alcohol, but these are like in tiny, tiny little individual flasks. I'm going to try and pull one out without breaking it. I told my friend Eric that I was going to snap one, and he said, no, you can't do that. It's like sacrilege. But if you see these little glass things, and I've seen people doing this actually on YouTube. If you look at this little glass thing, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's tiny and it's got fragrance inside it, and what you do is you just simply snap it at the end. Now I take ginkgo and some other vitamins in little things like this, but a bit bigger, and what you do is you snap one end and it doesn't come out, but then when you snap the other end, as long as you've got the first snap on this end, then you tip it like this and then snap this end, you can pour it into your hand. And apparently they put it in their hair. That's what it's supposed to be, so more like a hair oil. But you know what, I guess you can just like put it wherever you want, because it's your perfume. Yes, and I'm going to be selling all my stash once I finish doing videos of all my collection. I've got over 1,000 perfume bottles. Most of them not worth talking about. Lots of them are. This is definitely one of them. And I'm going to be putting them all on sale on my website. Hang on a minute, I've got more. What? Street lamp perfume? Yes, really. This is a really famous perfume. It's very rare. And it's called I need to put my glasses on, Rue de la Paix. And I don't know what that means. I really do need to learn French. It's gorgeous, isn't it? But look, it's also an ashtray. Yeah, you can put your cigarette here and you can like have a fag whilst you're like dabbing on your perfume, because it actually comes with these tiny little flacons that were full of perfume. And I don't know what colour. Probably I would imagine that they would be like a little amber colour, like street lamps. It's on the wonk. I don't want to break it, but it's metal anyway, so this actually won't break. But how gorgeous is this? You've got 3 little flacons inside, and it's an absolutely gorgeous street lamp with an ashtray. You could be like under the street lamp with your fag waiting for a punter. Anyway, there you go. Nothing wrong with being a prostitute. It is the oldest profession in the world, and I think it should be legalised in every country. So there you go. That is the street lamp. Let's see what else I've got, because I've not finished yet. When I was in Grasse, some beautiful like rose petals and then covered in pink candy, and apparently supposed to eat it with a glass of champagne, but I can't afford champagne because I spent all my money on things like this. So I've got a bottle of Brut, which was about £1.99 in Lidl. So I'm going to see what it tastes like. I'll let you know. How much was a street lamp? Probably people are going to be asking. Well, I'm not going to tell you because my husband is going to be watching this video. Actually, he doesn't watch my videos. If I was talking about concrete, he would, or wood, he'd be watching my video. But anyway, the price for the street lamp perfume goes for around 150 to 200 euros. But this is it's called Yesteryear. Another one by Schiaparelli. Is it Schiaparelli or is it Schiaparelli? People say it differently, but it's still got the juice in it, which is really, really incredibly rare. And it's just, can you see? It's like, it's a beautiful little doll perfume, a little doll flacon with a very questionable ribbon around her waist that I think was supposed to be like a bouquet of flowers or something. And it's absolutely divine. And this was 15 euros, which is an absolute bargain for the size of it, because a lot of these ones that you get are like 15 ml, and this is probably, it doesn't say on the bottom, but it's probably, I would say, what would you say, around this size, might be 30, maybe 30 ml, perhaps. So yeah, that's that one. And 15, this was 15 euros, absolute steal. This, my fragrant fans, is Margriff dusting powder. Now, I don't know if you know the story about Margriff. It's a beautiful fragrance by Carven. Madame Carven, she had a favourite dress, and her favourite dress was green and white stripes. That's why the fragrance is designed in this, obviously, green and white stripes. And when they launched the fragrance, they flew a plane, a private little plane, probably a propeller plane, I don't know, but anyway, over the River Seine in Paris, and dropped hundreds of tiny little perfume boxes with containing the fragrance. So what an incredible way to launch a perfume. But I'm going to show you inside, because this is not the perfume, it's a dusting powder in the scent, and I'm going to show you inside. Look at this. Isn't it just, it's beautiful. And I think that's the C for Carven, and this is the dusting powder. I mean, I can't imagine what kind of like chemicals are in this, because it's really old, and I wouldn't open it, and it's actually sealed. I'm not going to open it because there will be powder all over my studio. Oh, but the fragrances, do you know they just don't make fragrances like they used to? And this is why I'm not a fragrance reviewer. Lots of people have told me to do fragrance reviews of modern and new and contemporary perfumes, but I won't, because I don't like them. There are no flabbergasting fragrances anymore. Nothing shocks me. Everything smells the same. I think a lot of them smell quite repugnant. I've got samples from a Italian brand just lately, and I'm going to do a video about that all together. I've only smelled 2 of them so far, but I'm not impressed, and I was shocked by the packaging. But this, they don't make fragrances like this anymore. If you can get your hands on Margriff, the claw, then you must, because it's exquisite. I came across an artist at the Bottle Expo in Grasse on the 2nd of June. They have it every year. This year was its 3rd edition, and they always have it around the first weekend of June. And you really must go, because it's just, if you love perfume bottles and if you love smelling the antiques and the vintage fragrances like I do, but often they have other artists as well that will have things like maybe a painter or, you know, someone that makes things with wood that's related to fragrance. And this lady here, I will do a whole video about what she does, but this is just a quick snapshot of what she does. So this is Lolita Limpica perfume, and she basically makes this box. I could get my husband to do it, but look at this. She says this is a Lolita and a beautiful rose, and she basically gets little gadgets and things and puts them together and makes art. So this is a little box and this is the lid for the box. So she's just turned the box upside down, put the perfume on top of it. This is the lid. She's put it like this, which then serves as a decoration behind the Lolita. I'm going to put a white thing behind it so that you can camera nearly fell. My tripod is so shit. Anyway, I'm going to have to get my husband's Manfrotto tripod. Have a look at this now. So now you can see a little better of how it looks. And I think it's really supposed to be on a wall. It would be a lot more effective, and it would be more effective if I had more of them and not just one. So here's the other, and of course I had to get the Chanel one, and this was also one of my favourites of the stall that she has, and this little thing unfortunately fell off because I was being very rough with it in my bag and I had a lot of stuff. So this is supposed to just like go here. I'm going to glue that back on, but they're beautifully well made. They're really well made. It's really good quality. They've got little hooks at the back where you can put them on, but that's going to be a whole other video. I think I need to buy another one. I think 3 would look really nice on my wall in my studio, and the prices for these, just 70 euros. That's all she charges for this beautiful artwork. Now, whether I think it's a new thing that she's doing, I'm going to actually interview her. And because, you know, there's no way that she's making like hardly any money on this for 70 euros. Yes, okay, the bottles, you can get them from flea markets for maybe 50 cents, €1 or something like that. But it's the work that's gone into it. She says she just looks at a perfume bottle and uses her imagination. One day I said to my husband, you know that this is my one of my favourite fragrances alongside Chanel No. 5. J'adore, a flabbergasting fragrance. The perfumer behind this is Calice Becker, who I actually met in Milan when I went to a expo there, and that's another story, meeting Calice. But I said to him, can you make me, because he's good with wood, and he makes bowls and vases, and I said, can you make me a perfume bottle out of wood? And he said, why? Of course I can. Look at that. It's beautiful, isn't it gorgeous? And he made me 5 of them. I'm going to keep one and I'm going to put the rest for sale. This is the biggest one out of all of them, and that's it. I'm going to go. Stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel as well on YouTube. I'll tell you why, because once I get to 2,000 subscribers, I am going to do a Ask Me Anything video where you can literally ask me anything about my life here in France, about my scent studio here, about my teachings, about my online courses, about perfumes, about collecting bottles, anything, as long as it's not, you know, not too personal. See you later. A bientôt.